Hello, everyone. Okay, so seems like no matter where I go, man. um, I wanted to come here to quickly talk about manifestation for us as Gen X people. So I did a video yesterday that I am following up on now, but what I'm beginning to notice is that manifestation is not just one thing. It's not. You have to, for me, it isn't. Now, maybe for others it is, but for me, it's a process of being true to yourself. And so for me, I move around a lot. It can almost look eclectic, but I'm dedicated in one area. And then I do other things as time goes along. So why am I mentioning this? Because I've been seeing some results of recent, like really seeing some results. Um, hmm, I don't have that thing right in front of me, but to the tune of just allowing myself to get to a place where you do things and you kind of just put them off and you don't worry about it. You don't attach yourself to them. That is a huge part of my manifestation journey. I'm beginning to really notice that. Like, what I can do is I can sit and I can focus on doing work the whole time to bring forward manifestations. But I really honestly believe, and I'm telling everyone this, you need to look into your astrological chart. As different things are happening, it would be very good for you to go get a qualified reading from a qualified astrologer. I don't have any I can recommend because I just have been doing. I'm looking around in my chart, and I've been looking at my chart for years. I pay attention to what people say. Some of it clicks on something that I've been looking for a while, and so therefore I begin to put it through, and I see what works. There are so many talented people out here who give help, who give you things that may work for you and they may not work for you. Case in point, one of the major things for me that helps with things is to listen to what people are saying and then apply it and see if it works for me and how it works for me. Okay. How is this going to work for me? That's like a major thing for me. Okay. Why is that so important? Why is that key? Because I almost look like control chaos, like a person that's all over the place, but I'm really not. I'm just researching and looking into so many things to come to a goal that must be had. Now, for people who are out here that are not moon led, not moon ruled, they don't, and if you are a moon ruled person, that means you are a Cancer rising in your astrological chart. If you are not a Cancer rising, you're not going to understand anything I'm saying. And so I have to really pay attention to whose information I read, whose information I listen to, and trust my instincts as they're going, no, yes, no, yes, yeah, yeah, no, 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 that type of thing, right? So that's major for me. That's number one. Number two, if you are a person that's ruled by Saturn, there's no way your information is going to help me. It's very rare, especially when it comes to results of manifestation. The manifestation journey has turned out to be one of the most stressful things I've ever done in my life. And what really put this across for me was something as simple as a Tektite called Moldavite. I bought that thing 3 years ago, and my life has done crazy. But I was also given like a write up over 20 years ago that I did for, I think it was 7 days, this thing was. And by the end of that, my world was rocked too. That's in my 20s. So I'm not clear on the years for that. So I can't really look at it from the standpoint of, I think I could, because I might be able to actually manage it by my daughter's um what age she was. I had to look at that. But my whole point is that looking into my astrological chart, there was something going on back then that I was unaware of. And I wonder where Pluto was then, because now it's been the past 16 years. Where was Pluto before that? Right? It's coming out of Capricorn. I would imagine it was in Sagittarius. And so Pluto and Sagittarius had me doing a lot of different type of movement, also a lot of study, also a lot of study of world religions, a lot of study of spirituality, a lot, like all of that, like to the point that I had an insatiable thirst for that type of information. They were studying in books, they was meeting different guides, actual people who were going to be almost like gurus and help me to learn. There was also, I was just thinking about what this energy could have been doing, and I know what house it would have been in for me. So at that time, I would not have recognized it to be the energy that it actually was for me in my chart, right? And so it didn't have as big of an effect on me as Pluto and Capricorn did. And I had to say that even with Pluto and Capricorn, I was coming up with wins. I was coming up with things that I needed to come up with. And sometimes at the drop of like within hours, right? Um, Money had to be where it had to be. And money I wasn't expecting, things would just come in and boom, boom, boom. Right. During that time, in the beginning parts of Pluto coming into Capricorn, I can remember some very prosperous times, right? But they were not without stress. They were with a whole lot of stress. Um, and so as I'm thinking about it, and I look at this from the point of my astrological chart and the timing, I begin to recognize that we all really need to look into our astrological charts. You may not become an astrological guru, but you need to know your stuff. And that's the position that I'm hitting this from for everything, as I go on to explain a little bit more in this video today or in this live. What is important is that you realize that it's impossible to just do one size fits all when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to understanding how to write your life the way you want it to be. So for me, not only am I a person that's going to tell you to look into your astrological chart, but I'm also very spiritual and very mm, in the realm of creating the life that I want with herbs. You can take that how you want to. Okay. But for the most part, I'm going to have some type of tincture or something around with some goo in it that I have homemade. And it's helping other people. But maybe for me, because of what's going on in my personal life and what's being transformed, it's not helping in that area. And it's the area I've been working on. So, a couple of things I'm going to get ready and lay out that I realized today. I'm telling you, on Pluto's on his way out. He kicking up dander, kicking you everything, but he's also giving you gold bricks of knowledge and information. So here we go. You need to look towards your north node. I don't care how much someone tells you you don't. You need to look to your north node and see what it means. My life has begun to take off and do much better because of partnership. And partnership can come in the form of many things. It can be a business partnership. It can be a relationship, a romantic one. It can be a partnership with, say, another entity, like something like that. You understand what I'm saying? And there are different communities that I know understand exactly what I said when I said that, a partnership with different entities. Um, and your life gets much better. This is not that when I say a partnership with different entities, I'm not talking about initiation because that's not the same thing. Okay. All right. So part that is my north node though. My north node is the seventh house. What's sitting there, right, is ruled by Saturn, right? Saturn rules that house for me, but it also has the underlying tones of Venus sitting in that house. So there's a lot of energy right there. The energy of partnership, that's that Venus, that's that Libra, but then you add to it Capricorn's energy. As a Cancer rising, everyone has the same houses. They just roll out like that. Okay. And with the moon running your life, you sometimes you could be moving so fast you don't recognize the things that you need to do are important for you. So when I talk about my north node being that is my destiny. So this is something I can put out and just calmly say you can't take it. Not at all. You can't change that for me. You there's nothing I could do to other than go against that. And that's what most of us do when it comes to this type of energy because we're not being taught we need to look at it. So since we're not being taught that we need to look at our north node and our south node, a lot of us, because it's so natural, we live in our south node energy. My south node energy is one of being by myself, one of being, like, take for instance, a Cancer rising, perfect single mother. Because Cancer's in the first house. A mother is all connotated, right? Perfect single mother. My son's not there, but even my son backs it up. My son is this big energy of masculine and of Mars. It's Aries. And so therefore I would be this very independent, let me at him, I'm going to scrap and get it done type of energy, very used to being extremely independent. But when it is, what I'm noticing is that without taking into account my north node and not understanding that it's part of my destiny, everything does what it does, you would reach the manifestation and it would still fizzle because you weren't in alignment with what you are supposed to be doing on this planet, which is in your north node. And a lot of people, I've heard people go, oh, if you don't lean towards your north node, oh, that doesn't really mean anything. I will categorically say, in my case, they don't know what they're talking about, because I live in that first house south node energy so easily. It is very easy. And it is a literal stand up, hold the mirror in front of your face, and face the fact that you're used to doing everything by yourself and you're very comfortable with it. But the thing that has made me really have to turn around and start moving towards my north node energy is that the frustration that comes from living in the south node, from what is already what Abraham will call chew gum, is that you're not quite making it to your goal, or you get there and you are completely exhausted and almost completely lose whatever it is you just achieved. And this has been my experience for some years. But now, finally, the energetics of stepping into the process of my North Node being in the seventh house in Capricorn, where Pluto is, right? For me, the change is like, it's like Pluto was saying to me, full blown, for me, you got to let this energy go and you got to pull up over here, because this is what your future is. And as I leave here, I expect you to understand that through those partnerships are going to be a lot of things that are going to fall into place for you and your partner, right? But a lot of people are out here spewing crazy information when it comes to relationships. I'm not saying that relationships are the answer for everyone. I'm saying, where is your North Node? Where is your North Node vis-a-vis where, knowing where your South Node is as a result? Because they literally are just like the sister signs to each other. That's just how that goes. It's important for me and my process that I figured that out. And I wasn't paying it that much mind. I know what it meant, but I didn't understand what it really meant. And I'm going to give this to you. I didn't understand what it really meant until I understood not Capricorn tendencies, my North Node. The seventh house is my North Node, and it's coming with the the strictness of Saturn. It's coming with the, we're not going to move on anything for you until you get, this is what you got to be doing, right? But that's for me. How is it for every other person out here? I could take a look at everybody's chart, $10, $20, and tell you what my take is on it. Or you could look at it yourself and begin to really study these things. If you want me to look at it, I don't got no $10, $20, nothing in my link. But you can, sign up for something in there and we can go over it. My whole point to you is that you must study yourself in order to manifest anything. And Pluto is in the process of telling all of us that. The cardinal signs start off this big processing energy. So I would imagine he came from a mutable sign ahead of that. And before, you understand what I'm saying? These processes are started, all processes are started pretty much by the cardinal signs, right? And if you can start them on a new moon, when the moon is actually somewhere, not void, of course, just there's so much to line up. There's so much layering to do with this, then your life can really take off. And a lot of people tend to look at life and go, oh, I just do this one thing and that's what happens. And as if you've been coming here watching my content when it comes to being a Gen X manifestation person who is a spiritualist, who studies herbs like nobody's business, who I'm really into understanding myself at a high level. I think that's the biggest form of self-worth and self-love that one can give to themselves. It's thereby treating oneself like treating yourself like you should be treated. That is the wording I will use for that. Once you begin to understand your self-worth, and you really understand self-worth, or your self-worth gets kicked into gear when you are clear on the many things that you've accomplished and what you can do for other people and what you do for other people on a regular basis, period. I'm not one of degrees, of different letters, of traveling, of initiations, of certificates, of marriage, and you just keep going on and on and on. The different things that life tells you you're supposed to do. A house by this age, and I'm not saying that. What I am saying to you is that when you are aware of the things that you have accomplished, your self-worth starts to kick through the roof. You begin to understand you bring an amazing process to this component called life. You're an ingredient that's needed too. And so now you're in those second house you're in that second house area swimming, like, okay, I bring this to the bouillabaisse. I bring this to the soup. I bring this to the river. This is what I bring to life, right? Now you begin to look at yourself and go, okay, well, I come with this. This is what I know how to do this, blah, 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 and I can do a lot more, right? And then beyond that, you begin to understand that from what I've understood for me, the things that I've achieved, they help to actually make me feel better as I sit within the place of my North Node and appreciate what that means. Okay? But that's for me. I'm going to say this again. That's for me. You got to know your birth date and your birth time. If you don't have your birth time and your parents don't know it or they ain't not interested in giving it to you, what you do is get your birth certificate from the state that you were born in. The date, the time will be on there. Okay? That's key. At least that's what we found with my grandmother coming from South Carolina to here. My mother too. We know that, you know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Now, if you know that, now you're beginning to understand what planet runs and rules your life. But knowing that the moon ran my life, I've known that for years. Things didn't click into place until Pluto, for me, aspecting said Capricorn, where it was for me aspecting Capricorn was saying, this this place has to be, you have to transform yourself through this. These relationships, everything that's in here are not the relationships you need. These people are not going to be your partners. They're not going to help you with a thing. And let me break that down. A quick story time. When I was 18 years old, I was working in banking because of high school. That was my process, right? It was part of my senior year, is what I chose to do. I learned about different bank accounts where you can do so many different things to make sure that money is flowing, and that a family, if they so chose, they could come together and make money moves for themselves, and it would be amazing. So my vision was that my family was I had come from a pretty big family. We would all get together. I had $10 a month, right? To an account that there would be have to require at least anywhere from 4 to 8 signatures to get any money out, right? I was looking at it from that standpoint to protect everybody that was involved, and the people would change every single time that the signature had to be done because it would be changed at the bank, and you could do that. I put it to my family because they were all coming over to my parents' home for something, and I put the idea out there, and I was immediately shot down by family. Not all of my family, just one voice that was destructive enough. Through from that time, that's 18. I'm 50 when this person transitions. That was a very destructive energy when it came to that type of abundance that I saw from my family, and I thought that we could run with and do things with. Probably in the end, it was working for me, that law of relativity, because it would have turned out to be something else, but maybe not, right? We don't know. But perfect case in point, it must have been something where Pluto was like, no, you're not getting into no partnership with your family. You will never be free of these people, that type of thing. Or it could have been, I'm not looking at um, you being next to these people for the rest of your life. You have other things to do, and you will not get to where you need to be if you are stuck in this realm. I don't know what it was, but Pluto is in Libra for me, and it's saying that's not the relationship. It's saying no, 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 no. Look in the depths of that eighth house that Pluto runs, right? That Mars runs, right? Which is that movement must be happening, and there's a lot of hidden secrets and things here you don't know nothing about. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of things in the shadows that you are completely unaware of that will not work towards helping you as you want to step forward in achieving your life's journey. Okay, so I was hurt by that. I was heavily hurt by the fact that she would go up against me with that one. I thought it was something simple, whatever, but it wasn't. And I never brought it up again. I never tried to really fight my family on that because, in truth, they all backed her so fast and like laughed me off like I didn't know anything, but I did. Okay, quite a few people are doing similar things with the universal insurance policies that they're coming up with and funding and all that as families. This was over 30 years ago. Okay. And the lack of understanding the my worth, what I was trying to accomplish here, my worth in the knowledge that I had because I've been working in banking, my worth in the knowledge of the mechanics of how the whole thing could work and what I saw for the family as time went forward was just completely dismissed. So I learned from then on to really I was already living the energy of my first house, doing everything by myself. Everything by myself. I might get tips from them if they had done something similar to what I did, but most of them didn't. They haven't, still to this day. And I'd have to go get my tips from somewhere else because I realized that the people who were going to know what I was talking about were going to be outside of my family. So that came into play for me. But these last 16 years and these last 2 years in particular have really taught me that I've been doing this by myself for a minute. And for me, my North Node is it goes into no, you got to work in partnership. You have to work with people. Because quite frankly, truth be told, doing everything by yourself puts a lot of stress on yourself. So, changing my mindset as an older person and understanding Pluto's effect in my life for quite some time, but specifically once it got here to the cardinal signs, it really whooped my tail. And I mean that. There were so many things that Pluto was doing consistently to say, back away from these people, back away, separate this, rip this up. This is not where the answers are for you. Leave this alone. Maybe not rip this up, but leave this alone. Search elsewhere. And when you are a person who's a rising Cancer, you're very attached to your family. You just are. You may not demonstrate it the way that I did, but definitely family's involved in your life, right? And you'll do what you need to do for them, but also take care of yourself. I think that's a difference between a rising energy versus a sun and a moon. But understanding and appreciating that my North Node was telling me, because the first house, which is where my South Node is, tells me to do everything with me. It's everything with me, everything about myself. Seventh house says partnership is key. So now we're on this manifestation journey and we're looking at life from through the lens of partnership. And it's like it came into my life. It had been coming for me since 2020. I wasn't ready for it until 2023, but it had been around coming for me, right? And so, with that being the case, now I look at everything through just a totally different lens. And it took a certain amount of time, and also this veil being lifted by the energies of transformation of this planet's influence in this zodiac sign in my seventh house. The veil being lifted and showing me this is the crud you refuse to look at. You're not seeing that right over here. It might look messy, but girl, just a little dusting, move things around, get organized, and you're going to see you cooking with gas and you're moving forward and you're moving forward fast. And we need you to stay here in this energy and trust this process. Okay, so I'm there. So in that process, self-worth is a huge thing when it comes to a rising Cancer. straight up when you want to make some money. And if you wherever your sun is, it's going to be how you have to express yourself through that second house. That's how things are going to pop for you. They're going to come forward through financially in your second house. You might get some one-offs in that eighth house, because I'm telling you, I do. But really, your steady everyday income is about you and your self-worth and what you feel you bring to the table and what you can teach people and all of that. So I stumbled recently across some steps that seem to go right along with this entire process. Okay? Understanding that you are loved at an extremely high level every single day makes this a different process. It doesn't make it a process of trying to figure it out. It takes, and I think this is as a result of, because we're hours away from Pluto getting ready to step into Aquarius. I think that with it lifting, it's like saying to you, you are loved. You have survived this trampling on your nerves and your emotions, like a trampoline this planet has been doing, because you have transformed yourself. I have a song that I sing when I'm in the shower, right? It helps me with a lot. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I wouldn't recommend it to nobody to be like, yeah, sing this song, your life is gonna turn around. No, but it puts me in a vibe continuously when I sing this song, right? I can't imagine not doing it when I feel it when I'm in the shower. I'm just gonna sing this song. I feel it. I feel the energy. And it goes along with everything. And it helps with appreciating that transformation is a part of our lives. Welcome Pluto into the fixed houses, the fixed signs. I will continue with my manifestation journey, but for now, I'm going to leave you all with this. Know that you are loved in a way where you can choose to live the life that you want to live, or you can choose to continue to struggle. This is what Abraham is saying. This is what Source is saying through Aaron Lyons. This is what my inner being says to me on a regular basis. But the way it says, it's just like, really? You gonna do this now? Okay, we'll wait. And then when I'm back on track, oh, we just knew you were coming. That type of energy. It's important to understand how much you are really actually loved as a being on this planet, no matter where any of this stuff is. But if you are a person that wants to unlock what you feel is a mystery, you will find it. I promise you, through your astrological chart. There's so much to learn there. There's so many different resources. I recently found the resource of the astrology podcast here on YouTube via a TikToker named Moon Ruled Mommy. And I delved into their channel. Honey, what? And ain't nowhere near done because they are prolific. Okay? But the information that they gave, it's like things have been opened up to me over and over and over and over again. Really try to understand yourself and appreciate who you are as a form of self love, and therefore growing your self worth. Appreciate who you are and appreciate the things that you brought to the world. Actually, write them down. Look at them. Add more to them as time goes on. You may be saying, like right now, I recently realized I've been saying I don't have any experience in doing something for the past year and a half and looking for certain types of side hustles and stuff like that. And I realized, wait a minute, why am I saying that? I did this for actually an entire year before I left my company. So I literally came to that, I think last week, like, girl, you keep saying you didn't, but you've done this. Oh. The manifestation journey is not, I do this one thing and I find my way to my manifestation. It isn't. But I can tell you now that because the things that I've talked about in this video, there's a whole lot more detail to it. But I can tell you that because of the things I've talked about on this live, that I'm watching things turn around. I'm watching things begin to soar. Things are coming out, and I'm excited about it. I'll share in my next video. Well, the video once everything I got it. I need it. There's a check I'm expecting right now. I'm expecting some other services. There's some things that are just coming through. Once those hit, I'll explain a lot more information around how this worked for me. And then maybe it can work for you, but work for you in your way. If you are a Cancer rising, I feel like I can talk to you a little bit more. But if you're not, I can still talk to you. You just have to apply things as to how you would apply things. And you have to learn what their vibe is. Okay? So, everybody, have a great day. Enjoy your Monday. Peace.